And welcome to Hero Power. I am your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
What is up, gang? How's everybody doing? We're getting to the end of June. Summer's already
Time has
halfway
flown.
through. We're probably 5-6 weeks from hearing something about the next set. Um, I got to thinking about it. I was like, we're actually further along. It seems like Ashes of Outlands just came out,
I
but it's
know, right?
been that was in May. It was April.
April, yeah.
Wow. So we're 2 months into Ashes of
Almost
Outland,
three. We're in 2 weeks. We'll be 3 months in.
and we're already talking about a Magtheridon Demon Hunter deck that
Oh,
we're
I
gonna.
know. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, new decks are still out there. They're not. We're not getting huge shakeup, but we'll talk about that more when we get into the news. But how's your week been? Have you been enjoying Hearthstone? Have you been enjoying anything else?
I've been playing some Hearthstone. I've actually been catching up and rewatching some great '80s television.
Ooh,
I've picked up recently. I've picked up Magnum PI, the A Team, the Equalizer, Airwolf, and I'm starting on MacGyver. And I'm just rewatching some great '80s television. But I have been playing some of the Fel Fire Festival. Let me tell you, these Felfire challenges that we're going to be talking about later,
oh gosh.
they are tough. I've only
Well,
finished like the first two, but
so in the past they've had the story and then a heroic version.
yeah.
And I was going to bring up that I kind of missed the heroic, but I noticed the heroic stamp they use is the stamp they used on the challenges. So you have the story, which was a solo content, the story of Illidan, and uh, Arana, uh,
Star,
Starseeker,
yeah.
Arana Starseeker, and then the challenges is your heroic content,
Yeah.
and you get to build your own decks with these. So do we just want to get right into the first
Well,
bit of news then?
how was your week? Did you do anything?
Good. So we're wrapping up the end of THL. I had my THL match, which I won 3-1. And we needed a lot of perfect storms to make the playoffs. So we've done everything on our side to make the playoffs, other than Ridiculous Hat has his match tonight on stream over at Team Hearth Legends, twitch.tv/Team Hearth Legends.
Mm-hmm.
So but some other teams have done so good that we will not make playoffs regardless what he does. However, we can play spoiler against our opponents this week and deny them playoffs. So it's come right down to the end. We're literally
kind of a we don't get in, you don't either kind of situation.
Yeah, if everything goes perfect, we'll actually tie for fourth, but we lose out on tiebreakers because the team beat us in the regular season that we'd be tied with by like 1 point. So we've had a really kind of shaky season. There's a lot of real life stuff going on with our team. But we've battled through a lot of that and finishing strong. So I'm really excited for next season. I'm really excited for the next set. But other than that, I've played a lot of Battlegrounds.
Awesome.
I haven't. Once I've learned with this new Legend system, once I get into Legend, it's so hard to try to make top 1,500 Legend that it really doesn't matter. Anything below like 1,500 to 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get a 10 times multiplier anyways. So I kind of just throw in the towel at that point and go, well, I got my 10 times multiplier, and then I'll push for it next season. But I don't play a lot of standard unless I'm just kind of testing out decks for the show or testing out decks for THL. So I mainly play Battlegrounds and a lot of solo content and the challenges, which we'll talk about. And then I've been catching up on anime. Right now, I'm about 100 episodes into Naruto Shippuden. I'm rewatching that series.
Okay.
I've been watching some new anime here and there, but I was like, you know what? I just want to rewatch some of the old stuff. So I'm watching Naruto. I've been watching some Inuyasha. I'm probably gonna get into the Bleach series again because it's one of my favorite anime series. It's really really long.
If you don't want to ever do anything ever again, I hear One Piece is like 1,000 episodes.
Okay, so here's getting a little off topic this week, but so I'm one of those people everybody hates. I don't like subtitled anime.
Ah,
I like it
you're
dubbed,
a dubbed person, gotcha.
and it's really hard to find the One Piece dub because it's still being marketed to Cartoon Network. So all of the streaming sources that have One Piece are all subtitled. And my thing is I think I've talked about this before. I have bad reading comprehension. It takes me forever to read a book. So to try to read my anime while also enjoying watching my anime is almost impossible for me. I have to rewind constantly to read it and then go back and watch the scene again. So it's unless it's a very heavy action anime, I really don't watch it subtitled.
Yeah.
I think Ghost in the Shell I watched subtitled because it was very heavy action.
Mm-hmm.
But and some of the Gundam stuff I rewatched because it was a very heavy action. But most of it I have to watch dubbed, so I won't be going back and watching One Piece. And which is it's sad too because a lot of the new anime I'll catch up on Hulu or Netflix or whatnot. They have all of the seasons dubbed except for the most recent season because the dubbed version is still being contracted out to like different other media outlets like Cartoon Network, Adult Swim or Toonami or one of those. So I'll watch everything except for the most recent season, and then I'll wait for the newest season to come out so that the most recent season will go into dubbed to be able to enjoy it. So Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched all of it except for the most recent season because it's in subtitled. So, yeah, that's my crutch to bear, unfortunately.
Nice.
But other than watching a lot of anime and catching up on stuff because right now I'm home all day because I'm laid off from work. I've just been playing a lot of mobile games and getting a lot of Hearthstone Battlegrounds in.
All right. Awesome. So yeah, let's jump right into the news now, and let's talk about the Fel Fire Festival that's going on. Trial by Fel Fire challenges. We touched on this just a minute ago briefly, but man alive, these are deck building challenges. So you have to build a deck. I like I said, I have only done the first couple, and okay. I'll straight up tell you, I did it with Ramp Druid. I just outpaced the AI. I got some really good draws. Had both Breath of Dreams within my first 5 cards, so I was able to ramp fast, get out some big threats, and just win. So I got lucky there. I don't think that's going to help carry me through the other fights, but I was able to do those first 2 with that.
And I think is there a total of 10 challenges? I think 5 on each page.
I believe that's correct.
Or it might be 9, 4, and 5, or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's 10 though. I pretty much powered through. I was like, let's start out with Pure Paladin, and just keep running Pure Paladin until it stops working for me. So I ran Pure Paladin all the way through about 2 fights into the second page. So I got about 7 fights with Pure Paladin, and then I got to the 8th fight and realized I had to switch it up. So I went to Highlander Warrior.
Okay.
And then that got me through the 8th fight. And then 9th fight, I ran a very heavy anti-weapon warrior, which was like the Highlander, except I took the Highlander implements out and I doubled up on a lot of the Kobold sticky fingers, oozes, weapon removal, and stuff like that. And then I got to the last fight. And I'm not going to spoil what the fight or who the fight is, but I think I failed 40 times. I've tried Pure
Wow.
Paladin. I tried variations of Warrior, and then finally, and again, I don't look up guides usually.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm like 40 matches into it, and again, this is later in the evening, the first night it came out. So I was like, let me see who else is beating this last fight with what they beat it with. So I looked online. I couldn't find anybody. I don't know if
Okay.
I was just there before people, or if they just didn't report it yet, or hadn't put anything on Hearthstone, or any of the, or out of cards, or any of those resources. So I was like, well, what can I do here? So I was like, well, let me try Mage. 'Cause I had heard other people say, well, just power through Priest, and I just didn't want to be another one of those, just do it with Priest gamers. So I was like, let me do Mage. Let's look at the fight. And so I picked a specific type of like cards to put in the Mage that were freeze centric, to freeze my opponents very often and try to keep them frozen. And that worked for me the first game. So
Okay.
I was able to finish it and got my reward, which the reward is a golden Kel'Thas Sunstrider, which, if you remember, Kel'Thas Sunstrider was given to us.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no way, this was brought up about a month ago. It's like, by now they would have given us a way to get a golden version of him, because you couldn't craft him in golden.
Right.
So people were wondering, how do you get a golden Kel'Thas Sunstrider? Well, this is how. So that was kind of cool. I like that I have that card. You can't disenchant it, or the non-golden, which
Mm-hmm.
kind of annoyed me. But that we've had this problem before. But it is what it is. My question to you is, I know you haven't finished it and you're still working on it. Did you enjoy this for what it was, the challenges? And I guess this kind of spills into the solo content as well. Entertainment and content level. What do you think of this whole Fel Fire Festival when it's awesome?
So yeah, I'm a casual player. I don't play more than maybe an hour or two, maybe 3 a week. I maybe play 6 to 10 games of Hearthstone in a week, and so
That's like a day by me.
yeah.
Not even a
And
full day.
and so where I choose to spend my time when I'm in game is really kind of important to me. And so yeah, I've been doing mostly all solo content. I've really enjoyed the story. I feel like they've really done well, if not outdone themselves, on the voiceovers in this
Oh gosh,
solo
yes.
content. It's phenomenal. And I've enjoyed the first 2 trials that I've done. Like I said, I enjoyed getting to go back and play some of the decks that I had built that I've not been playing in ladder. I hadn't played Ramp Druid in a while, because I'd been playing Tempo Demon Hunter a lot lately. And so it was fun to be able to go back and play some of these other decks that I hadn't played in a while, and just see how they do against the AI.
Yeah, and see, that's what I've enjoyed about it is, you say the voiceovers are done really well, and I want to give them a little more credit and say the writing was done really well. Not just the voiceovers themselves or the filler content, but the actual stories and the rhymes, and just how they delivered those voiceovers, uh, and the thought of the storyline, the kind of, again, a slight spoiler, the the story between the comparison of Illidan with Arana, and how they told that story out without giving too many spoilers, was just really well done. And then on top of that, to have a majority of the story done in rhyme,
Yes.
to kind of,
Yeah.
and even the challenges, while the challenges voiceovers didn't all rhyme, the Illidan's introduction of them was all in rhyme. So
And I'm going to apologize now, because I had a listener message me and ask me how I liked the content, and I was telling them, exactly what I just told you. I really thought the voiceover work was done well, and the listener said, "Oh, so are you and Zerotio going to do the entire show in rhyme?" And I just told him, I said, "Look, you don't want that. I can't rhyme. I'm lucky if I can rhyme 2 words in a sentence. I doubt I could continue to make sentences rhyme for an hour. So I apologize now. There's no way I would be able to do that." Zerotio?
Hey, they're not going to get the whole show in rhyme, because to write that much, I wouldn't have the time.
Oh, there you go.
See what I did there? Little ad lib, little freestyle. So the big difference of this Fel Fire Festival and the solo content that came with it, as well as the challenges, and there were some quests, legendary quests that gave you additional packs, and of course we got a card back for finishing the story mode, and you get the Golden Kel'Thas Sunstrider, but no new cards. Now, mind you, this was a free content. You didn't have to pay anything for it, but in all of this event, we didn't get any new cards to add to the meta, to add to standard. Do we think that's better without the cards or with the cards?
Okay, so as a casual player, I think this content is fine without new cards. As a Hearthstone player, having no new cards come with this content kind of stales the meta. We are in a position where we're kind of in that limbo between releases. We got lucky that we have a new deck to check out this week. That's not always the case this time of release. And, a lot of times the decks have been in place now for a month, and you're going to see the same decks for the next month and a half until the next set comes out. So, not having new cards stales the meta faster. But from my personal perspective as a casual player, this isn't a bad thing. They did a really good job focusing on the playability of the solo content, and I enjoy it.
See, I agree with you. The thing is I like when new cards come out. I like when we can shake up the meta. The problem I have is I'm somebody who plays a lot, and I play an organized tournament series, like a league format series where I play my match every week. In the past, when they put out this content and then every week new cards would come out, the content would come out on a Tuesday. I have to have my deck submitted by midnight on Wednesday. And then I play my match later that week. So I have to theory craft every single week new decks with these possible new cards. And then I have to go into the solo content and complete them as quick as possible to unlock those cards. I don't have a chance to enjoy the story. I don't have a chance to enjoy the voiceovers or try wacky, weird things, because I have to try hard and look up what's going to win this. How do I beat this as fast as possible to unlock these cards so I can be ready for my match every week? And some could say that would be that way in the ladder too, where you got to unlock these cards as quick as possible to be able to play them on the ladder and be competitive. Look at something like Risky Skipper. Risky Skipper was given out in solo content. Some people don't have Risky Skipper, but you have to have Risky Skipper right now to even be competitive.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I enjoy that I don't have to do these little micro management, and I'm not even talking about the money to buy the content, let alone the time to play it. Now, I am one that usually tries to knock it out as fast as possible, win it the first day, and get through it so that I can, more so brag about it than have the completion. But without the cards attached to it, I won't have to. I didn't feel rushed. I didn't feel like I had to do this. I could say, hey, you know what? I'm a little burnt out of this. Let me go get some lunch. Let me go, have dinner or watch something on TV and then come back to it. Where before, with cards attached, I was like, no, I have to power through this tilt or whatever, fatigue or whatever I'm facing to unlock these cards so I can keep on par with all the other players that are in THL or just on the ladder. So I do enjoy not having the cost and the cards associated with it, but I understand where the meta gets a little stale. But to be honest, there's a lot of classes out there that aren't being experimented on, like Shaman and even Paladin to an extent. People have went, pure Paladin or Libram Paladin are really the only way to go. You could possibly go Murloc, but then it stops there. There's probably lots of other Paladin style decks you could play. Are they tier 1 or even tier 2? Maybe not. But maybe if they keep this up where they do the set release and then they don't release any new cards until the next set release, maybe that will encourage the player base to just start experimenting more and come up with decks like we have this week, where we're going to play a Magtheridon Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I'm excited. This deck was brought to our attention by one of our patrons, HowardTheDave. This deck was originally created by Eggo Waffles and Eddie, so I'm really excited about checking out this deck. So
yeah, and that's Eddie from Grandmasters.
Yes.
So a Grandmaster player kind of thought this up alongside. Again, I don't know if Eggo Waffles and Eddie both did it separately and it came together, if they worked on it jointly, but our sources tell us that Eggo Waffles and Eddie originated this deck.
Yeah.
Speaking of Grandmasters, we saw some Grandmasters compete in WSO Online 1 Hearthstone.
Yeah, this is the World Series of
weekend.
Esports. They do multiple games, but this was the Hearthstone edition.
So last weekend, it was an open call. Anybody can enter the tournament. And last weekend, they did all the Swiss rounds and decided the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
And the top 8 played yesterday, which was the 27th of June, for prizes. I think first place got $5,000. And
that's correct. Second place was $2,000. Third and fourth both got $500 apiece.
And also, the first place person, or in this case, we're going to end up being the second place, but one person was given an invitation to Masters Tour Montreal. So we haven't seen this since HCT days, where you would play it like a dream hack, and if you won, you got invited to a championship tour.
Mm-hmm.
Is this maybe seeing a transition towards seeing more online tournaments that maybe give invitations to the Masters Tour?
I think that would be great. I think it would be a great way for Blizzard to get involved in some of these third-party events like they used to. I mean, I know Blizzard tries, but one of the things Blizzard's never really been good at is running events.
Yeah.
And some of the best Hearthstone events have been put on by third parties.
Yeah,
Plain and simple.
I know you said you didn't get a chance to watch this. Before we get into the results, the production level of this was wonderful.
Well, so I've watched WSOE events in the past, like the event Gia won last year or year before. It was the All Women of Hearthstone. I forget, but that was a WSOE produced event, and the production level has always been high on their events.
So they had a video to play in between the matches that was a story of No Hands Gamer, because of his unique situation with his severe carpal tunnel syndrome, where he can't use his hands, and they had great animations done, like cartoon animation pictures of all the players. Their transitions when a player won, it flashed up with writing, was all beautiful. They had, a lot of times you'll have a player finish a match and they have to play the next match because that's just the way the brackets are lined up. Mm-hmm. Well, they made sure to schedule some show matches to fill those gaps, to give those players time to take a breather, refresh, go use the bathroom, get something to drink or something like that. So I'm telling you, if Blizzard maybe could start contracting the WSOE crew to do some of these things, maybe that would take a little burden off of them, because they did a beautiful job with this tournament. There was some technical glitches on the stream, but I think that had something to do more with Twitch than their side of it. Also, the casting was done by Frodan, and that's admirable.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a third person.
I was glad to see that's admirable back.
Yeah.
In the casting.
Again, he's not. He is stuck by his guns with the Blitzchung thing, and he hasn't worked for Blizzard directly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is through a WSOE. So I was really glad to see that's Admiral back in the saddle, because he did a great job, and he hasn't skipped a beat. He's obviously been playing Hearthstone, or at least did some cram time in to study the cards, because he knew his stuff. But it was done from their homes, but WSOE made sure they all had the same stand mics, and the green screen behind them was one big mural, and it didn't look the same on every person. It looked like they were live at a WSOE event. They just weren't next to each other. And it was really done well. I was kind of questioning. I was like, are they really at home? Because this looks like they have been flown out to a site and maybe put in cubicles or something. But they did say that they were casting remotely. But you wouldn't have guessed it from the equipment they had, and their chairs were a little different. But that was the only thing that was different. But yeah, it was just done really well to the caliber of WSOE. I haven't seen a WSOE Hearthstone event since last year. I'm glad they're back to it, and they've already confirmed they're having another WSOE Online 2 in August. So we're going to be able to look forward to that. But let's talk about this tournament. The top 8, we saw a lot of new names. So the Rabin was versus Cosmo, and he beat him in the first round of the top 8, the quarterfinals. And another newcomer, they were calling him Toboki. It's I read it Teoki Boki, but he defeated Reliquary, which I've heard Reliquary's name in the scene. And another thing they did is one side of the bracket was mainly EU, the other side was all Americas, so that your final was literally going to be EU versus Americas, which I like. Again, I don't know if that just lined up that way in the top 8 seedings or what. And then No Hands Gamer was faced against Bloody Face in the quarterfinals.
So you have a seasoned Grandmaster versus a brand new Grandmaster. So yeah, if anything, this match was a kind of a look into the future of what we may see.
A little bit of a tease. And No Hands Gamer took down Bloody Face. And a lot of the viewers have gone to say that this could have been a finals match. This was the match of the tournament. And that's admirable. Even said that on broadcast. And then another couple newcomers, Cal, which I think is in South America, defeated Easy Bake. So we had the Rabin going against Toboki, and then No Hands Gamer versus Cal. And the Rabin, the unique thing was Toboki was playing a very odd lineup, and he was hard targeting Warrior. He was leaving Warrior up where most players were banning Warrior. And this had been very successful, but the Rabin kind of scouted that and left. He banned the Priest and left up Toboki's Control Warrior and his Druid, which was a little bit easier for the Warrior to deal with. Not an auto win by no stretch of the imagination. And the Rabin defeated Toboki, and he went on to face No Hands Gamer, who defeated Cal. So we had No Hands Gamer versus the Rabin in the finals. No Hands Gamer is a Grandmaster and gets an invitation to Masters Tour Montreal already. So the Rabin is going to get an invitation whether he wins or loses.
Okay.
So at this point, they're just playing for kind of bragging rights and, of course, prize money.
Prize money, yeah.
There's a $3,000 difference between first and second.
That's correct.
So This match, the format, which also made it easier for Taboki, was it was a bring three best of three. So you bring three decks and have one ban.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the same format as the Masters Tour qualifiers, where you bring just three decks instead of four. And this went down to game three.
Okay.
It was very, very close, but No Hands Gamer ended up taking the win over the Rabin, and that last third game could have went either direction. But No Hands Gamer played some exceptional games, and I'm really excited just to see No Hands Gamer before he obviously is a Grandmaster, before he starts his Grandmaster season.
Yeah. So
we have No Hands Gamer winning this WSOE Online 1. There were also some show matches. Phenomenal defeated Orange to win $1,000.
Okay.
And then Gia and Darok. Gia as the former WSOE two-time champion, faced Darok, who's also a fellow caster for the APAC region. And he beat her.
Wow.
So she played a little meanie, and it was expected Darok was going to do the same, but he kind of came pretty try-hard. I think he wanted to prove himself. But he ended up beating her for the $1,000 and the bragging rights over the two-time WSOE champion.
Okay.
So the whole thing was just well done. And awesome. I enjoyed watching it, and Frodan and That's Admirable are, to me, are like peanut butter and bananas. It's the perfect combination. What? You don't like peanut butter bananas? I love peanut butter bananas, man.
All right, Elvis.
Peanut butter jelly. Fine, peanut butter jelly. So here's my question. No Hands Gamer's obviously proven himself.
Yeah.
But we know No Hands Gamer has the disability with his hands. And it's no surprise that his least favorite card is Nosdormu. Do we expect to see a change in moving Nosdormu to the Hall of Fame before the next GM season?
I don't think we will.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think we will. I don't know. This might be completely wrong, but I don't know that Blizzard moves one card for one player.
But here's the thing. It totally makes the situation unfair. And I'm not expecting the GMs to go, hey, I'm playing No Hands Gamer this week. I'm going to put Nosdormu in my deck. But random effects specifically...
and even if they move, I mean, yeah, I know it moves it out of the pool for standard. But, I mean... He's playing with it in the pool now for random effects because people aren't just randomly putting Nosdormu in their decks now.
It's true, but at that point, if you're playing Ysera and Nosdormu pops out of the pool of dragons, and somebody like Bloodyface or Firebat or any of the other GMs gets that, they immediately have to switch it on and have a level of manual dexterity to make sure their turn gets out the way they want. No Hands Gamer literally cannot do that. He's come on record saying that it's something he cannot physically do because he has to use the infrared tracking where he has a dot on his glasses and he moves his head and uses a foot pedal to click. To me, this would say that is an unfair card for people with that limited ability, not just No Hands Gamer. So I don't think we're doing it just for one player. I think we're doing it for any player in this pool. And if we want Hearthstone to be an inclusive game, we have to consider those with disabilities. And I think the correct action will be to take Nosdormu and put it in the Hall of Fame. Now, I know they don't normally do that until rotation time, which would be April, but I think it'd be too late by then. It could literally ruin his Grandmaster season and put him into relegation. Do we want to wait until he's relegated to make the change?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how Blizzard handles it. This isn't something that we don't. Unfortunately, you and I don't get to make the decisions on whether cards are included in.
It's true,
and or Hall of Famed. So we'll have to wait and see.
Us as a media outlet and content creators can say that we believe it needs to be Hall of Famed and why, and that's my reasoning.
Okay.
And hopefully maybe others will hear this that agree. They'll go out to Twitter or maybe make some posts to Blizzard to kind of push this. I know it's already been started because it's been brought up before.
Yeah, this is not a new conversation.
No, it is not a new conversation. That the speed of your play is not a healthy advantage.
And a lot of the conversation prior to this, even prior to No Hands Gamer, has been, what's the point of Nozdormu? It's the only card in the game that changes your time limit. So why? Why is it even a card?
Yeah, and No Hands Gamer has come out saying that he has to manage his time very specifically, and a lot of his plays are kind of on as autopilot, as he likes to say it, where he's practiced it so many times he knows the routine. But if he even said in his documentary that WSOE put out that if he had to think of his turn as the rope started, he'd never get it done. He's like, I go through so much anxiety when I see other grandmasters not even start anything until the rope starts, because I just can't do that. So if his turn starts with the rope starting and it's not under his control, I don't see that as a fair advantage compared to the other grandmaster players or any other player that doesn't have a physical disability like he does. And I'm sure there's other players out there that play Hearthstone, maybe not at his level, that have the same impairment. Whether it's with their thoughts. I know we have another fellow podcaster that plays Hearthstone, Dano, that's had brain surgery, and so his thought processes from during a Hearthstone turn has to be changed. Our very own Versika had a stroke and had to relearn how to play Hearthstone. So there are physical limitations in people like that, whether it be through their mental aptitude or their physical capabilities, like No Hands Gamer, that I just don't think a card like Nozdormu needs to exist in competitive play. Now, can it exist in Wild where we're not implementing competitive play? Sure. But if we started having a competitive Wild format, I'd want it out of that too. I know I've never spoken out to delete a card. I know a lot of people will like delete Barnes, delete this card, delete Yogg Saron. I've never liked that stance, but there's never been a card like Nozdormu that has such implications with those that have disabilities that they're overcoming, obviously, to play Hearthstone at a high level like No Hands Gamer. They just don't need that extra struggle that I don't think really helps any. It doesn't help the game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And now I'll go ahead and slide my soapbox to the side, and I'm done.
All right. Well, then that will bring us to this week's Tavern Brawl, the outlandish burn down. It's the burn down Felfire style. Get a deck, hero power, and treasure. Keep them if you win. So, have you gotten to do this yet?
Yes. Yes, I did. I didn't enjoy it.
Oh, I did. I did.
So the other Fel Fire Festival, it was a different deck. They didn't have a treasure.
Yeah.
This one has a treasure that you get. And sometimes when I see my opponents get specific treasures, I would just concede because there's no way I'm going to win this. I mean, having Antonidas, 2 copies of Antonidas in a mage deck, where your treasure is all of your mana, all of your spells cost health instead of mana. and all they got to do is get out an Antonitis and then hit you with fireballs off their health. Or on turn 2 as a hunter, getting the same treasure with where your spells cost health instead of mana, and on turn 2 they can play 2 Call of the Wilds. Yeah, I did not enjoy this. And the only game I won was because I got the hunter with the treasure that your spells cost mana, health instead of mana, and then I played 2 Call of the Wilds on turn 2, and my opponent conceded.
Gotcha.
As soon as I got my one win, I was done with this.
Yeah, I what was it? I don't remember now. I thought I played Rogue. I'm pretty sure I played Rogue, but like, I mean, it was just. I don't remember what treasure I had, though, but I know it was completely one-sided. I won, hands down, very easily.
I think the only treasure I didn't enjoy was the one where spells cost health instead of mana. I think if it was without that one treasure, I might have enjoyed this Tavern Brawl.
Yeah.
But it was like, whoever had that one, it just didn't matter. It was just so easy.
Yeah. All right. So, I only played it once. Got my, like I said, it was very one-sided. I won my match hands down.
Yeah, I will say this.
And went on.
Every match that I played was very one-sided. Either I lost defiantly or I won defiantly.
Yeah.
And again, I only won once, and I think I played it about 9 times before I got my win.
Okay.
So, I was like 1-8 with it.
Yeah.
Did not enjoy it. And when you win with a deck, when you lose with a deck, you get your opponent's deck. You don't necessarily get the same treasure.
Right.
So if they beat you with a inferior deck, but they beat you because the treasure was better, then you get in my opinion, a bad deck. But then you get a different treasure and it doesn't work the same as it did for your opponent. That's what I didn't enjoy about it. Where with the old Burn Down, you knew you were going to get a better deck because their deck outperformed yours. But in this Burn Down, they could beat you just with the better treasure, and you weren't guaranteed to get it.
So, all right, that does it for the news this week. So that's going to bring us to the deck list portion of the show. And as we talked about earlier, we are doing Magtheridon Demon Hunter. This deck was supplied to us by our patron, HowardTheDave. And as we said, the originators of the deck are Eggo Waffles and Eddie. So
and I also want to make sure to put credit out there to Matt at Arms, because Matt at Arms got this discussion started with HowardTheDave.
Yeah.
So truthfully, the deck was supplied in combination of Matt and Howard.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I'll run down the deck list, and then I'll turn it over to you, Zerotio, to kind of talk about how the deck plays. So it's 2 Twin Slice, 2 Blade Dance, 1 Blood Mage Thalnos, 2 Chaos Strike, 2 Immolation Aura, 2 Moarg Artificers, 2 Spectral Sights, Zephrys the Great, 1 Aldraki Warblades, 2 Eye-Beams, 2 Soul Cleaves, 2 Volpera Scoundrels, 2 Horde Pillagers, 1 copy of Magtheridon, 1 copy of Chaos Nova, 1 copy of Metamorphosis, 2 Warglaves of Azeroth, and 2 Skull of Gul'dan. So, what the first thing you may notice is there's a lot of 2 copies of cards in this deck to be running Zephrys. Plus, so what's the goal here? What is the point of this deck? How does it work?
So the reason that it's 2 copies of Zephrys is, or it has Zephrys in it, even though you have 2 copies of cards, is because you're expecting to go late game with this. So you're expecting to weed out your deck quite significantly to then only have 1 copy of cards in it. So my original thought when I started playing this deck, and again, I don't have a great win rate with it. I went 3-5, but I lost 2 games right out the bat. So ultimately, I went 3-3 with it once I kind of got my bearing with the deck. So it's kind of about a 50% win rate deck so far, what I can see. I came out thinking I had to have Magtheridon. And then my third game, I won with Magtheridon, my last card on my deck. Literally last card. And then I realized Magtheridon is a good key, and a lot of times they deal with Magtheridon. But this deck can win without Magtheridon. It doesn't seem like it because it's a lot of removal, but the Warglaives of Azzinoth are very significant and pack a huge punch with the other associating cards. It has a lot of health gain. It has lots of clears. So basically, you're just constantly just keeping the clear, doing incremental damage to their face. And then if you can throw down Magtheridon and clear the board and have a big 12/12 that clears any associated death rattles with it or anything else that's left on the board, it's just really good. Obviously, you have to make sure to kind of watch out for anything they could do to either shadow step or bounce back one of the 1/3s that are put out, or transform it in a way that you have to kill 3 of them. So if they transform one of them with like the corrupted the 4/4 that turns a minion into a copy of itself, unfortunately, then your Magtheridon doesn't go off. So if you can get the Magtheridon to stick and go off, it's very easy to win with this deck. But it's good. It's a good deck. It does have some weaknesses, Mage and Priest specifically. Anything that's slow and doesn't generate a lot of minions on the board, it's going to struggle against. But anything that puts a lot of minions on the board, it's going to do great against. Like other Demon Hunters, it's really good against. It's not bad against Hunter. It's really good against Rogue. I didn't lose against a single Rogue. It's okay against Druid. I had a kind of a rough Druid game with it and lost, but I saw where I could have won if I'd gotten the Magtheridon earlier. So it is kind of a meme deck, but we're kind of in that meme area. July is usually, hey, everybody play your meme decks and see how good you can do with them because the new set's coming out in August. So if you want to play a meme deck, now's the time to do it.
Right. So, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to checking this deck out. I actually was just looking to see if I have Magtheridon, and I do. So I may try to build this deck. And
so I made a Paladin deck early on that had both Magtheridon and then the Supreme Abyssal, which is the 12/12 that can't attack face. And the goal was to silence the Supreme Abyssal and then use Blessed Champion to double its attack to 24 for an OTK. And it did well. It did well in the scenario. So, again, it was a meme deck. It sat around 50%, but it won. So
right.
I got that as a win.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking this out because, like I said, I may build this deck and play it some just to have some fun with it. So, all right, if you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via the audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining us at Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power.
Alrighty. So I have the game up and ready to go. You let me know once you have found a worthy opponent.
I'm spinning the dial right now. I'm sitting around, I think I'm at 6751 Legend. I've pretty much been letting myself decay naturally. I played some. I played with this deck on the ladder some. And And it's the 28th day in the month, and I'm not like 10K, so I'm kind of happy with my performance this month. I got in like around 2,500 though. So
can you make sure you have spectate on?
I did have it off for THL, so it is back on.
There we go.
Okay, so we are against a druid. I have Soul Cleave, Blade Dance, and Spectral Sight. I'm kind of inclined to keep a Blade Dance just in case they get an early Glowfly Swarm.
Okay.
Soul Cleave would also be good, but I think just keeping a Blade Dance would be good just in case they get Glowfly Swarm, and hopefully I can have a weapon or have some way to have at least 2 attack.
Right.
I mean, Skola Gul'dan on the far right's not the happy place I want it to be.
Yeah.
We're a Demon Hunter, so turn 1, we don't have any plays in the hand. We're just going to Hero Power face.
Okay.
Now, this isn't always the case. There are times I'm facing Casey. I hope it's not the Casey. Anyways, there are times you don't want to swing face, like against a warrior. You don't want to put him at 29 because that enables his battle rage.
Right.
So there's the Chaos Strike. I think I'm encouraged to not play the Chaos Strike.
Yeah, I think we just Hero Power attack, right?
We just Hero Power attack. And a lot of times I would play the Chaos Strike strictly to draw a card.
Yeah.
But in this case,
we want to be able to use it with Blade Dance. Yeah, exactly.
Again, there are variations that aren't running Glowfly Swarm, but a lot of the popular decks are running Glowfly Swarm. Well, there's Magtheridon.
Okay.
But we're probably not going to... I'm going to Hero Power go face. Is there punish playing Magtheridon on 4?
Like you said, I think the only thing, and I don't think Druid runs the copy minion, right?
No, I don't think he does, or anything that would transform minion.
Yeah.
Ooh, but we have the Warglaive. See, the Warglaive is great. If we could develop Warglaive and then play Magtheridon, we could pop the Warglaive. But this is a turn he would want a Glowfly Swarm. If we play Magtheridon, it robs 3 places for the Glowfly Swarm.
That's true. Yeah.
And then next turn we could Warglaives to take out those 3 minions. The problem is if he has a lot of buff spells, he can buff.
What if he could also Wrath one to kill it and prevent us from being able to pop Magtheridon.
No, Wrath wouldn't.
Oh,
they just have to die. We don't have to kill them. They just have to die.
Oh, okay.
So I think we play Magtheridon. Now this is risky because if he has Power of the Wilds in his hand, he can punish us.
Right.
But this counters the Glowfly turn because it robs him of some board space. And he doesn't have the mana to Glowfly and Power of the Wild. We're like, what is this card? So now he doesn't want to develop anything on the board unless he can buff these up. Because if he develops on the board, we just kill it.
Right.
And see, we can Warglaive this turn and pop our Magtheridon.
Yep.
We don't have to Warglaives.
No, we could Hero Power, Chaos Strike, and Blade Dance.
I think we Hero Power, Chaos Strike, and Blade Dance, and this allows us to push more damage face and save our Warglaive.
Yeah.
And we're gonna Blade Dance. Oh, the Immolation aura is really good for if he does get the Glowfly Swarm. So we're gonna swing to face. And now we got him on like a 2-turn clock. I don't know how Druid deals with the 12-12 other than putting stuff in the way. I want something to I-beam so I can clear the I-beam.
I say he's at 9. He's at 9 mana, so he can play something big.
He can. There's a Mount Seller. Okay. All right. Crystal Power for 2 damage. Okay.
That gets him a 1/4, which we can remove. Another 2 damage that he can run in, making it a 12/4. Okay.
Okay. So we can Warglaves, Hero Power, clear the 1/4, and put two shots into the exotic Mount Seller and just go face.
Okay. I like it.
So we're going to clear the exotic Mount Seller. So this allows him to use the Weaponized Wasp. We can clear the Weaponized Wasp, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think we clear the Weaponized Wasp. Because if he's running the variation that has Moonfires,
right,
he could have just ran a Weaponized Wasp and the Moonfire into it. Now he's got to find a way to do the 4 damage. He could use Bog Beam, but then he would have to hit it with his face or have the Moonfire. We're in a good spot. He only has 4 cards in his hand. He hasn't drawn
them. And we're representing lethal if he can't remove it.
Yep, we're representing lethal.
That's it.
They're not running Swipe right now. They're usually not. Is he making a Hot Pocket? He might be going up. He might have got him.
He was looking at his hand, trying to decide if he had any play at all, and he decided he didn't.
I think Fungal Fortunes would have been the play if he had it in his hand to try to draw spells. But he would need Bog Bean and Moonfires.
Right.
Because he couldn't afford to hit it with his own face. Now, mind you, it put him at 2, and we're not guaranteed to kill him. But it wouldn't have been hard for us to find 1 extra point of damage at that point.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, there's game 1. Let's move on to game 2.
So, it's a meme deck, but it has results. Again, it took me a while to practice with it and learn the right way to play matchups like that. Mm-hmm. And I've done that same matchup against another druid, and he punished me hard.
Gotcha.
He double Power of the Wild. You can do 1 Power of the Wild, but he double Power Wild and then Savage Ward me and just punished me. I ended up winning that game, though. So Druid might just be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Warrior I've only faced once, and I lost. So Immolation Ore is probably good, but we don't need it early. Unless we know it's Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
It could be Pirates. He's a Diamond 8 player. He's not a Legend player.
Right.
We throw the Warglaves back. I think we keep the Immolation Ore and the Spectral Sight.
Yeah, because we can use the Spectral Sight on 2 and draw 2 cards.
I'm only keeping Spectral Sight because it's the leftmost card in my hand.
Right.
And sometimes I will keep Skull of Gul'dan if it's the leftmost side of my hand.
Okay.
Okay, Hero Power. And I'm not going to hit him in the face because I don't want to activate his Battle Rage.
Okay.
If he has armor, I'll hit him in the face. I just don't want to put him below 30 because then that's 1 extra card he draws off Battle Rage.
Right. So there's the first pirate.
Okay.
So Spectral Sight here?
Yeah, it's a clear Spectral Sight. He's not threatening us too much. Chaos Nova's going to be great. I-Beam's not bad. We're probably going to Volpera Scoundrel next turn. Volpera Scoundrel is a really interesting card. So I've never thought it was great because you never know if you're going to get 3 good spell options. But since Demon Hunter's so new, it has such a small pool of spells, you're likely going to get the spells you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think we just Volpera
I think we just Volpera as well.
Shift some of these cards to the left.
Oh. Do we want a second Metamorphosis?
I think that's too slow. But a coordinated strike might be what we need to deal with a risky skipper board, where a lot of stuff's going to be at 1 health.
Right. Okay. So you just
Blur is
take it and
not
hold on
terrible.
to it?
Yeah, I think we just take it and hold on to it.
Okay.
I don't, like I said, if I knew exactly what he was playing and it was like a control warrior, I might
Right.
take the second metamorphosis. But right now, I've only seen Sky Raider and Corsair Cash, and that's every warrior.
Every warrior deck out there right now, yeah. All right, coining into rich caliber.
So this narrows it down to the bomb warrior or the control warrior that has wrench calibers.
Right.
I'm leaning towards it probably being bomb warrior because they're real popular right now to counter Highlander decks.
Yeah.
Spectral Sight puts us at 9 cards in hand.
Yeah. I don't think that's the play here.
I guess my question, what is the play here?
Um,
Maybe coordinated strikes and run one of them into the 1/2 and use our face for the other one?
yeah,
Representing 2 1/1s on the board?
that could work. Of course, that plays right into the possibility of a
Risky skipper.
risky skipper, but that's
However-
just the way it is.
However, we have the immolation aura for the risky skipper turn.
That's true. We do.
I think this almost baits out a risky skipper doing it this way, leaving 2 1/1s. If we left just 1/1/1, he could just hit it with his wrench caliber if he wanted. Now these bombs are going to pose a little bit of a problem because we won't be able to get to the Zephyrs as easily. Okay, so this looks like it is more the control style. Since we've seen
And he's just gonna try to burn us down.
Yeah, which isn't going to work out real well for him because we do have quite a bit of life gain. We can I-beam the 2/3 and then...
Clear with a 1/1.
Now, I'd hit it with our face.
Okay.
We net 1 health that way.
Okay.
I want to keep these 1/1s on the board so it feels like he has to do a risky skipper turn on what I would consider a very weak board. If he plays a big threat, we can Metamorphosis next turn. If he plays multiple big threats, we can Chaos Nova next turn. Oh, kind of a passive turn. Swing face, and then if he drew Ankar, he could equip it. They don't run Livewire Lances if they're running Wrench Calibers, which tells me he drew a Wrench Caliber and not a Ankar.
Mm-hmm. There's a bomb.
The bomb. Okay.
So that's one of... There's 2 left.
I think we developed a Metamorphosis.
I was just fixing to say the same thing. Yeah. And go ahead and hit him for 7.
I would. I mean,
Yeah.
we've already done damage to him at this point. He done damage to himself.
He did damage to himself, yeah.
So I mean, we're not gonna. More damage isn't gonna lessen the impact of him drawing more cards. We do need to get some of our life gain going.
Well, I was sitting here thinking we need to get the Immolation and the Blood Mage out of our hands so we can skull, but it may be too late for that.
Yeah. Well, he is just pushing it. We might Immolation this turn. Well, we skull on the far
We could
right.
skull on the right, yeah.
We'll fill our hand, but that's not a bad thing.
7, yeah. Because, I mean, we'll be able to play the 0 or low cost.
Likely.
Yeah. Likely. Play 0 stuff.
Not that.
That's 2. That's free. That's free.
They dance.
You definitely play the Blade Dance.
So, well, we have to have attack. So, we play the 1-costed Twin Slice and the Blade Dance.
You can play the 1 cost and the 0 cost.
Let's play the 0-cost Blade Dance and then Hero Power his face.
Okay.
So Blade Dance. Hero Power is face. I mean, we're at 8, and he's got 3 in a weapon.
Yeah.
So we're dead to a face swing and a bomb.
Correct.
But we're kind of putting him at a fairly low point. I would have loved to have drawn an Aldraki Warblades. Here comes Skipper and then Bomb. Nope, Skyvateer. Okay. Immolation deals with that. That's a passive turn. Wait. That Wrench Caliber wasn't the one he drew off Corsair Cache.
No, it's not. Okay, so
I think the play here is Blood Mage, Immolation Aura, and the reason why is I want to draw the card off Blood Mage.
yeah.
So Blood Mage, Immolation Aura, but using the far left one. And I want to draw Aldraki Warblades. We drew the bomb.
And that's game.
We needed life gain. And there's
Yeah.
life gain in here.
Yeah.
We needed like Soul Cleaves would have been fine with the minions out on the board. Yeah. There could have been better draws.
Yeah.
But I think that might be a bad matchup. Historically, Warrior is a bad matchup for Demon Hunter anyways, so regardless the type of Demon Hunter you play.
Yeah. All right.
Which is probably why they're playing it right now. It's because it counters that stuff. Paladin, I have not had this matchup.
Okay.
I'm going to assume it's Murloc. Strictly because a lot of people don't think
he's still
Pure Paladin's
leveling.
very good.
Yeah, he's still working the ladder, and
A
that's
lot
probably
of people don't think Pure Paladin's good, even though I disagree with them.
right.
So I'm going to leave Immolation Aura up, but that's it.
You're not going to keep the Blade Dance in case it is Murloc's?
I don't think so, just because I don't have a real good way to get 2 attack.
Okay.
Not in hand. Now, if my third card was Chaos Strike, then I probably would keep this whole hand.
Okay.
But since it's not, I'm just going to keep the Immolation Aura. Plus, Immolation Aura does the 2 damage to the whole board. It's how many they put out. The thing is, with Blade Dance, you're only dealing with 3 minions. And with Murlocs, they can go a lot wider. Here, Power Face. And Twin Slice is really good with Aldraki Warblades now.
Yes, it is.
Because for 5 mana, you can actually heal your face for 6 while doing 6 damage.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's
just
unfortunate on the far.
Hero Power face again.
Yep. And he held his entire hand. He didn't mulligan a single card.
Right, so he liked what he saw.
If it was Murloc, I would have expected a Murloc on turn 1, or definitely turn 2. Which makes me think... Well, makes me think he didn't know how to play Paladin. Because if he held cards in his hand, that would make me think he at least had...
Or maybe you found the only other pure Paladin player in the world.
Yeah, but if he's pure Paladin and he held his entire... Well, no, he mulliganed the far left card. But I would have thought an Aldor Attendant would have been in there.
A Bronze
Okay, there's
Explorer.
Bronze Explorer.
Okay.
So we can Hero Power and Twin Slice and take that down.
Yeah.
Reveals the second slice to him, but that's fine. This may be pure Paladin. It might be a list similar to mine. Showed it. If you're a watcher of the show, thank you very much. A follower of mine on Twitter, thank you very much. There's, again, a lot of people don't think pure Paladin's good right now. I am not one of those people. I got Legend with it. I'm keeping a 55 to 57% win rate with it in Legend rank. So I think it is, if not tier 1, at least top of tier 2. My sentiment is not mirrored by a lot of people. So far, this is very similar to my list. Again, my list is a little different though. Than the popular lists. Soul Cleave will be nice.
Moarg Artificer.
I was thinking we developed the Moarg. I think we just developed the Moarg as a target for him to deal with.
I agree.
I don't think the extra spell damage from the Moarg is going to help us. Either they're going to be within a range of immolations, soul cleaves, or they're going to be way out of the range.
Right.
Moarg's not going to help us. The benefit of the Moarg with soul cleave is it does give you double the life steal. So you would, if when it hits a minion, you would get 4 health back.
Huh.
I really want a Metamorphosis this turn, but I think that's a wrong play. We can Soul Cleave this, Hero Power, and go face.
Yeah.
We can play a Moarg Soul Cleave and go face. I think I like that better.
Okay.
This will be a lot of life steal. I don't want to leave a minion out there because of Librams. That was 8 life steal.
Yeah, that returned us to full health.
It's full, yeah. And now he feels kind of required to clear one of these Moargs with his face, which will negate the healing that he gets off of it. And then I think we do Metamorphosis this next turn.
Okay. Depending on what he plays.
Yeah. This would be the turn he would want to play the Aldor, the 5/6, not Aldor Attendant, the other one. But I would have snap played that if I was him.
So he is gonna clear.
Yep.
And then play the Aldor Truthseeker, okay?
4/6, yeah.
Yeah.
So we can clear that with the Metamorphosis Hero Power.
Yep.
And then run into Moarg. But we know he has a free Libram of Wisdom in his hand now. So far, this is card for card, like my deck. I don't expect him to have the Subdues, but in this matchup, well, I guess Subdue would be good against Magtheridon. The Subdue is not a common bring.
Right.
I want to get these Immolation Ores out of our hands.
Well, what about Hero Power Immolation Aura to clear the Spellkin?
I want to get both out because I don't think they're going to be as valuable. So let's do both Immolation Ores and then the second slice.
Okay.
Then we can afford to Hero Power face.
Okay.
Oh, if this is eye for an eye, we take 5, but I think that's fine. So Repentance.
Okay.
So that is a Repentance.
You missed a damage. You could have Hero Powered and attacked face.
No, I couldn't because I used my face to finish off the minion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd already attacked, so I would just use a Hero Power for no reason.
Gotcha.
I did not forget to use my Hero Power. Ooh, Underbelly. If he has the... Yep,
McGurgle.
That's a good combo. This deck is... So far, it's card for card, my deck.
Yeah.
Now we're missing the immolation aura, but this is fine though.
As the room is on fire, Zerotio says, "It's fine. It's all fine."
It's fine. There's the most recent troll that had Tice on there, and it did the image of the fire around him going, "It's fine."
I saw that. Yeah.
So I think we Skull of Gul'dan.
I think we have to Skull of Gul'dan because we've got to find a. It would be great if we could find an AOE response.
Cleave, Soul Cleave, Spectral Sight. So I think we just Spectral Sight because it's free.
Yeah,
and it draws us 2. There's a Horde Pillager, which we don't need right now.
Okay.
So Soul Cleave is gonna hit 2 minions. Then we'll probably have to use our hero power. We can't play Magtheridon now because there's minions in the way.
Right, there's not enough room. And even if we did, then we'd have to still, clear the
let's Soul Cleave, see what it hits.
Okay.
It's fine. Yeah, it got 1. Now we could play Magtheridon, be a little risky.
And fill up his board and then clear him with the Warglaives next turn, which clears the board.
Yep. So we'll Magtheridon and then go face?
Yeah.
Just go face. So that Repentance didn't hit our Magtheridon. I thought it would.
Well, he's not coming to play.
But when he comes on dormant, it's not going to hit him either.
Oh.
It would hit. I thought it, because I've seen other things when you play a minion, I guess it didn't count it. So, question is, can he get lethal? I don't think he can. How close is it? 7, 8, 9, 10, 17. Warglaives is, that's going to put us pretty low. Hopefully we can draw into an I-beam.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. If we could I-beam that underbelly and gain some of that life back.
How did he play another secret from the deck?
Yes, he did. No, he played a secret created by Cobalt Spelkin.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So.
So the play here is Warglaives, clear the 3/1/3s.
Correct, and then that'll clear the rest of the board.
What do we do after that? I think it's just what we got to do.
We could play the Volpera afterwards.
We could. We lose to. If the Volpera finds us an I-beam, we can stay alive. We lose to the Lightforged Zealot because we'll be at 4.
Yeah, or the Lightforged Champion, the sword.
You don't put that in your deck.
Oh, okay.
Because the Zealot gives it to you anyways. That's going to go off. We play the Volpera. Hopefully we hit I-beam. Come on, animations. No I-beam. We'll just take... I'm going to take the mystery choice.
Okay.
We don't have time. Okay, there's a Repentance. None of that was good. We lose to Lightforge. Yeah,
well played.
Here comes the Zealot. Please don't play from the far right. He plays it from the far right. There it is. That's fine. He had it.
Yeah. All right.
He won that because he got some really good draws off of his underbelly, underlight angling.
It's okay. You can say he won that because he's playing your deck list card for card. I get it.
Well, I'm not gonna say card for card because I didn't see Subdues, and I didn't see the Lightforged Blessings, which is another addition I put in the deck.
Okay.
Paladin's good. Paladin's good. Again, we were playing kind of a different deck.
Right. We were playing a kind of meme deck.
If we had gotten I-beam off of the Volpera, we could have I beamed our own Volpera because it would have been 1 mana that would have kept us out of range.
Right.
There were some other scenarios we could have won that game, but again, not saying this is a great deck, but if you want to have fun and you want to play Magtheridon,
right,
this is a deck to play right now. It's a lot of fun.
All right, gang. That's going to do it for us. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't done so already, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details about our Hero Power Patreon, you can join our patron-only Discord for as little as $1 a month. Head on over to patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.